I just got the ick. Again. I don't understand why do men keep doing this to me? Why do I attract people like this?
This girl got the ick for a guy so quick that there was nothing he could do about it once her emotions flared up and alarm bells started ringing. But what did he do that was so bad? Well, that's what we're going to get into today. So stick around as we get into the mess. And if you guys would be so kind, hit that like and subscribe button so YouTube can show us some love. I greatly appreciate it.
Let me try to prove a point that I think is 100% correct. The point I'm going to make is that men don't get a lot of compliments ever. They can count like the number of times they got complimented in their fingers. Because my boyfriend and I were just playing a card game. I actually have the literal question right here. And then the question was, what's a compliment you received that stuck with you? And tell me why this man literally took 5 minutes to think of an answer while I had a few in my mind. And then I was like, why does it take a long time for you to think of an answer? And he was like, well, I don't really get complimented a lot, like besides from me. And then I was like, do men just don't get complimented? Then it's like you'll compliment a man on something, they will remember it forever.
It's so funny to me that this is something that never occurs to women. And it's probably because they're comparing a guy's lived experience when it comes to dating to their own. And if you also take into account that most women find most guys unattractive, it makes sense as to why they wouldn't give them compliments. While women get validated for pretty much just existing, for a guy to get recognized, he has to achieve something. Otherwise, he better get used to being ignored.
I just got the ick. Again. I don't understand why do men keep doing this to me? Why do I attract people like this? I was talking to a guy on the phone and he asked me out for dinner Saturday. I'm like, yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing you again. He's like, really? And then I was like, oh, yeah, just a joke. I'm like, yeah, really? He's like, really, really? And at this point, I was like, that's weird, but let's just play along. And then he did it again. He said it again. He was like, really, really, really? And at this point, I was like, I'm done. I'm so done here. I am absolutely, I have goosebumps all over my body, but not the good kind. It's like, all I said to that was, you say it one more time and I'm gonna say no. That's all I could get out.
Girls get turned off for the most random reasons sometimes. And in cases like that, there's nothing a guy can do about it. Was this one of those times? Maybe. Because the guy was either just messing with her or he isn't used to this sort of attention from women, so he wasn't ready. From listening to what she had to say, I think it's the latter. And in her eyes, she probably seen him as someone who's insecure or doesn't have many options when it comes to dating because he was in disbelief that she'd even want to see him again. And while some people hate to hear it, when people like Myron say guys should sleep with 50 women, there's some truth to that, but it's not something you need to take literally. When I hear things like that, I take it as a guy just needing to get more experience with women, and preferably successful experiences, because with those two things, you can build up your confidence. So unlike the guy who gave this woman the ick, you won't be so desperate as you'll know that you can find someone else if this situation doesn't work out.
If you're in a situationship, I'm gonna need you to delete that yesterday. Bro, I was having a conversation with this dude at work, right? I asked him, I was like, you took your girlfriend off for Valentine's Day? He was like, yeah. I was like, oh, that's cute. How long y'all been together? He was like, well, I wouldn't really call her my girlfriend. Unprovoked, this nigga gonna tell me, oh, but at any point, she could be my girlfriend, like, if I wanted her to be. I was like, so why don't you? And he was like, oh, I'm not ready for a relationship.
This is just another story about a woman who's landed herself in a situation that isn't going anywhere. But because she might think she's going places with this guy, she's going to waste weeks, months, and maybe even years with him. The guy even said he could make her his girlfriend if he wanted to, but for whatever reason, she doesn't qualify for the role. While we don't really know what this girl's thinking or feeling, there's a good chance that she's waiting for him to make things official with her. But unfortunately, that's very unlikely to happen.
I said to him, I said, you guys are already in a relationship. He was like, yeah, but if I want something else, if I see something else and I want that, I could go get that. That's not even a word he said. I'm like, that's foul, but you guys are definitely in a relationship. He was like, nah, that's not my girlfriend. I might be her boyfriend though. I was like, you don't think she's talking to somebody else? He was like, nah. Oh, now I call Naya so she can hear the shit that I'm hearing. I'm like, so you just blown in the wind? You don't think you ever gonna want to make her your girlfriend? He said, why would I make her my girlfriend if she's already doing all the girlfriend stuff?
To me, it sounds like this guy's just keeping this girl in his rotation until something better comes along. Because if she was someone he wanted to be with, he would have made that commitment by now. Right now, he's enjoying the benefits of being in a relationship without actually having to commit to this woman.
I was like, hold the mother phone. She like, wait, what's the girlfriend stuff? He's like, this is what he did. He did this. He didn't just say it. Like, he did it like this and everything. He was like, she emotionally supports me and I just love her. You love her? I was like, can I get Shorty contact information? He was like, you could tell her. She not gonna believe you. Like, I know how to lie. Like, it's nothing. Like, it's easy. She's not gonna believe you. Naye said, at what point are you gonna make her your girlfriend? Like, will you ever do that? The dude is gonna say, no, she can't do nothing special to make me want to make her my girlfriend. Nothing that she does is going to change the fact that I don't want a relationship with her, even though I love her, even though she emotionally supports me, even though I said, why don't you tell her you guys are never gonna be in a relationship? He said, nah. Why not? I was like, cause you know she's gonna leave you. And he was like, yeah. And then he was like, if she goes and finds somebody else is going to have something that I can't have.
This guy doesn't love this woman because if he did, he wouldn't say that there's nothing she can do to make him want to settle down with her. And actually, that's something that women should be paying attention to when they find themselves locked into a situationship. Just like how most guys can't escape the friend zone, the situationship zone is also pretty much impossible to break out of. Towards the end, she even suggested to the guy that he tell the woman that he doesn't want something serious with her. But as you guys already know, if a guy has unlimited access to some cheeks, he's not gonna just give that up out of the goodness of his heart. This is something that the woman's gonna have to want for herself. This whole thing is why women get caught up in situationships for years. This dude has no reason to commit to her, and she isn't going to leave anytime soon because she thinks they're going places, especially since they do things like spend Valentine's Day together. It's also pretty wild that this guy has this woman so wrapped around his finger that no one can talk her out of carrying things on with him. He must be clapping those cheeks with the utmost authority.
This comment really annoyed me, and I can't explain exactly why, maybe except for the fact he left it on a video where all I mentioned, height in context to this, was saying, he's cute and he's tall. And I said tall like it was a positive quality because it is. It's a quality I'm attracted to. However, I have dated guys shorter than me. I've dated guys my height. I'm a tall girl. I'm actually used to towering over most people and a lot of guys. I like to wear heels. So yes, you're correct. I do find it attractive when I meet a guy that's so tall that I could actually wear my highest heels and not feel like a tree next to my date. Have I fallen for men that are shorter than me? Yes. At the end of the day, it's about attraction and chemistry. So I would love to teach this man today that you can find height attractive and still be able to look past height and find a connection with somebody shorter than you. I think the main reason this really bothered me is it felt like somebody that's very resentful towards women because of weird generalizations like this that they get off of a video where it's height's barely discussed. It's like a 3-minute video where I'm talking about my date. I say one comment about the guy being tall, and then I get this comment. I just think it's so weird. All I'm saying is just know two things can be true at the same time. I can be attracted to somebody taller than me, and I can also be attracted to guys shorter than me. Just because I find that to be an attractive quality doesn't mean it has to be the quality. Does that make sense? I hope so.
She makes it seem like a guy's height isn't a big deal. And while she might not disqualify guys for it, there are plenty of women that do, which is probably what this commenter was more referring to. It's no secret that shorter men have a tougher time when it comes to dating, so there's no reason to pretend that this isn't a fact. Now, I will say, it's not nearly as extreme as people like to make it out online, because in my experience, out in the real world, most women are more than happy for the guy they're dating just to be bigger than them. Before we move on to the next clip though, just because this guy pointed out this whole thing about height and shorter guys being rejected because of it, it doesn't mean he's resentful towards women.
I don't care what anyone says. If you are a woman and you hang around women, you'll start to understand what men be complaining about. And if you're a man and you be around men long enough, you'll start to see what women be complaining about. The more you just pay attention to your gender, the more you will see what the opposite sex be talking about. Men do not be lying about the stuff they be saying about the ladies. I'm sorry, y'all. I just gotta tell the truth. And my husband be saying the same thing. Like, the ladies is not lying about this stuff they be saying about these men. It's not made up. It's not made up, y'all. I'm not even joking. The things that men and women are saying about each other is true for the most part. It's true. And I know it's true because I be observing it. I done did it. Some of the stuff I done did it. So I know they're not lying. So that's kind of like, that's why I talk about the things I do on my page, because I'm realizing like nobody's really lying about none of it. Nobody's really lying about none of it. So we really should start building from there.
What this woman said isn't a lie. Even though this is a channel for men, I'm not gonna sit here and act like men can't do some messed up things. And the same is true for women. When it comes to dating, it's a mess, and no one's having an easy time out there. But when guys start talking about female nature in a way that's not so flattering, they get called things like incels, bitter, or misogynistic. As the saying goes, the world isn't black and white, it's shades of gray, and all we can do is observe the world around us and move accordingly so we can get the best results possible. Anyway, guys, what do you think about this? Drop your thoughts in the comments so we can talk about it.